What up, my freaks? RuinusInsight here with part 29 of my Total War Warhammer 3 modded Imrik Immortal Empires campaign. So as we saw last time, with the felling of Skarbrand by Imrik and Menaethnir, the long victory was achieved, and the very nice buffs that we get along with it. Though the game has given us the victory, at least in this form, I don't think we are quite ready to quit this one. There's still potentially a ton of massive fights, especially now that we've declared war on Vlad and on, well, I mean, we were technically at war with Ashrak already, but basically everybody around us, or at least continue to be. We still probably are going to attack the lizards, although our relationship with them is improving a little bit. Are they still fighting? They're no longer fighting these guys. In fact, who are they fighting? Just let's double check while we're at it. While we're here. Looks like they're only fighting the Hunts Marshal's expedition. I do wonder how the other factions down here feel about them. Well, Itza likes them well enough. The Bordello Aaron don't particularly like them. Hardly surprising that the other lizards like Hexoatl, but yeah. Well, I'll think about it. They haven't declared war on us, so there is that, and there are other things potentially to do, like the massive rat empire, which we have not yet declared war on. Anyway, let's start. I believe we're in a new turn. Yeah, everybody has to move, and I guess Imrik, you're going first today, my friend. Going to Noble Prestige, we have to knock out Mash One Finger and destroy the top knots for good. I don't think they will run because, oh, actually they will. Huh, that's surprising. Wait, are you a Horde faction? I don't even remember. Yeah, you're a Horde faction. Okay, that's why you're running. If they were a regular faction, they would have just stopped where they are because they've lost their final settlement. But we can just destroy Mash One Finger. Now, is this worth fighting? That's the question. I mean, the way I figure it, I suppose we can auto-resolve another, but I mean, it's always nice to see Imrik fight. Let's do this one. It's not going to be difficult or anything, but just for the fun of it. Quickly, real quickly.
Dragons!
Alrighty, he says for the dragons, and the dragons move together. Probably one of the last times we see these four in a single flight, so good to see them. Anyway, here we go. We're here for a good time, not a long time, though the top knots will probably get neither. And Dragon Breath comes down on the enemy lord, ripping apart a few of the enemy archers and taking about half of the HP from poor Mash One Finger. And that's before that scary sight approaches. Well, that's probably the last thing you see. Mr. Mash, he tried to escape, but I don't think the boar is gonna be capable of outrunning a Star Dragon. Imrik comes down, hits Smash for another quarter of his HP. The bar hasn't even dropped from where he got hit by the Star Dragon Breath, and just like that, Mash is gone. I had to do it in slow motion or we wouldn't have been able to see anything. The other dragons are getting their breaths off and basically kill off 2 units and heavily damage one before landing upon the rest of the archers. Since the melee troops aren't going to be particularly threatening to them, we destroy the archers first and ask questions later. In the meantime, the dragon princes, now with the Thilmar chariots along with them, have moved on in. Oh, I noticed the Thilmar chariots have a eagle flag on them. Well, perhaps I could have gotten some of those for Arathon. He might like those. Not that he needs them. Anyway, looks like they've charged on through a few of the enemy units and have taken out a unit of orcs, savage orc biggins, or regular savage orc boys, together with a unit of trolls. Now the dragons are making mincemeat of the enemy main army. We're gonna pop a Awakening of the Wood through a blob of boys, and then send the chariots and the rest of our dragon princes down through them. And by the looks of it, with that, the battle is pretty much ours. The rest of the enemy army is shattering. There is absolutely nothing they can do about the Dragon Tide, even if it's only with 4 dragons. I mean, this is kind of why it's like dragon doom stacks are obnoxious and unnecessary. Like, you don't need to rely on a dragon doom stack when a couple of dragons will do this much damage, especially when buffed under Imrik. Although, to be fair, these are special dragons. But anyway, decisive victory for us. We'll still get Imrik more dragons as we peel away the special ones towards their own army. And soon we'll have access to additional dragon princes. Can't wait. Alright, there we go. Very, very nice. A quick little fight just to show off how monstrously effective Imrik and his army are, even if it's still just a half stack. He doesn't really need more. Frankly, Imrik just needs Imrik himself. He is magnificent, after all, to quote him. Anyway, we'll ransom the captives for obvious reasons. Decent little bit or chunk of change, and then Imrik, you can, free gambler's armor, you can start moving out once again, go into march stance and go over here. It looks like King Nebuset is looking to move towards Gorgazan, but Imrik should be able to destroy him. I still think we should probably try to take Pyramid of Nagash. The thing is, the Vault of Nagash is only a tier 3 structure, and 10% faction-wide spell resistance, as well as 50 Winds of Magic power reserve faction-wide, is quite nice. We also do own Nagashazar, and, well, sometimes you wanna have the set. Don't you? Anyway, Arwenel, do a quick little auto-resolve battle against Skullrend. What the heck is that? Orgalnakaktros. Yes. That sounds like a demonic name rather than this guy. Maybe he's just possessed, but anyway. You are gonna go right here. And Arwenel, let's pop you into no prestige and then take this out. Should be an easy little auto-resolve, like so. It's probably gonna kill off a chariot or two. I'll kill one, oh, it's actually not so bad. Killing one chariot, considering. I'll take it. And then we'll ransom the captives and keep on moving. You don't need the relic sword. In fact, we can probably combine the relic sword into something else. Do we have another garbage common weapon? We don't, so we can't really combine it with anything else. I mean, we could get rid of one of the shrieking blades, but nah, they're probably fine where they are. Unless we need more green items. What is the Shield of the Mereworm, incidentally? 2, 2, and 5. Something crazy. Also should put that Radiant Gem of Hoeth on somebody. We had it on an Admiral, but I took it off of oh, whatever, we'll deal with it later. Anyway. I have a tendency to do that, but honestly, we have so many items. Ooh, Bane Shield, hello. Missile block chance and armor plus 25 in a blob, eh? I do kind of like that. Do we have armor on you guys? You guys don't have armor, right? So you have the Horn of Vol. Let's give you the Bane Shield as well. Why not? Okay, now I have to find it. The Bane Shield. It is plus 25 missile block chance. It's not a percentage, right? Like, it's just straight up missile block chance. You don't actually have to have a shield to block them, I assume. At least I hope that's the way it works, because, well, you're gonna get it for now. I generally like to give support items to the handmaidens, because they're generally not super likely to be fighting in melee, at least at the ones that are with the Sisters of Avalorn armies. Anyway, Imrik. You've moved. Alright, Phaedon, you are moving towards the World's Edge Archway, not actually trying to get there, but rather to meet up with the sort of half army that we got going for you here. Recruiter Fernharvest will possibly be recruiting, depending on whether we have money. Phaedon, did I not move you? Okay, you're still moving, just taking a while. Alright, Erathond. This guy's right here. Okay, I think we could just auto-resolve this little army. Let's face it, this isn't really worth Erathon's attention. He can't reach Bordelot from here anyway. And once again, I'd love to own all the great harbors, so it feels like the appropriate thing to do. Kemlar, declare war, call allies. I'm good. We're just causing everybody to fight everybody, but that's, well, it's pretty normal. On par for elves. Let's see, now. Erathond, you don't have magical attacks, do you? Oh, why? Okay, he should be the one using the Lichbone Pennant. I also did put the Emerald Collar on him to give him rebirth and poison attacks. Well, the Seed of Rebirth, the regeneration. I'm just not 100% sure whether that's better than the Vambraces of Defense, because he loses like 10 armor or 15 armor, or whatever it was, and 5 melee defense and 5 ward save, or 10 melee defense and 5 ward save. A fairly considerable amount of defensive stats lost, but regeneration gain. Poison attacks is also quite nice, considering he doesn't actually apply any kind of attack sundering or anything of that nature. I mean, we could give him the Executioner's Blade should we desire to do so, but I kind of like the whole weapon strength stacking that we did on him, because he hits as hard as Imrik does, and that's pretty insane. I'll think about it, which means I may never address it again, unless somebody reminds me. Anyway, let's give the Razor Standard to one of the Silvern Guards. Scarecrow Banner will pop on, say, one of the Eagles, and Banner of the Eternal Flame should probably go on the Noble, as he's buffing everybody around him. Auto-resolve this? I don't know why the unbanners undid themselves, it just happens sometimes. Ooh, decent bit of money for this. Very nice. Shield of Talos, enemy killed in battle. Then, I would like you to stay in our territory, but move right here across the sea from Bordeaux. I take it we won't heal in the neutral sea, but I guess it doesn't matter because we're basically at the end of our range anyway, so you're fine. Alright, that was Erathond. Arwenel, you moved, and then I promptly forgot to continue moving you, because I'm an idiot. I guess the question is where to send you. If we are to burn down everything here and maybe, I don't know, transfer them to the humans or something, minus the Desert of Araby, we'll probably need not just Imrik down there. I feel, however, you should probably take the long way around to avoid the attrition. Then again, who's going to attack you here? There's nobody here to really attack you, is there? Yeah, maybe you're fine. Alright, suffer attrition, and then Kodar, you're obviously going this way as well, so move. And you can also suffer attrition. This is probably going to kill off another chariot. But there's not much we can do about it. Belcherethoi into Noble Prestige stance and head towards Ashrak. And let's see what Valkia has here. Is this worth fighting? It is not. If the auto-resolve says it's low casualties against this, well, it's just basic marauders, yeah. Against our spears and high elven archers, then it really is a really basic army. Let's get the Gleaming Pennant on. Actually, we should probably put the Gleaming Pennant on the middle guy. Actually, you know what? We can put the Wailing Banner on you and the Gleaming Pennant maybe on you. It's an aura, after all. Yeah, that makes sense. Alrighty, and oh, wait. Wait a moment. Wait a moment. It's really gonna kill the Illyrian Reavers? Yeah, these guys have been annoying. Wait, what if we give them the pennant? I really don't see a need to fight this particular battle. But it looks like there's no avoiding it. For some reason, this one unit of Illyrian Reavers will die. Alright, fine. I guess we'll fight Valkia one more time with this army. Oh, why the heck not? Let's get to the... I forgot who had what. You, the middle guy, and you. Like so. Go again. Alrighty, here we go. Belcherethoi at it once again with her units, her basic unit army. She has been such a menace to Valkia throughout the campaign. It's probably appropriate that she end her faction here. That said, Valkia will deign to do something very uncornate and use a bound piercing bolt of burning upon our units. I kind of didn't even expect it, so I wasn't really watching for it. And it's going to do heavy damage to at least one of our units of archers, probably taking about half of their HP or more, and, well, we'll see about how many of their number remain alive after that. We will give them a quick heal, however, with an Earth Blood, just to try to get those units that are damaged but alive to be in a little bit better shape. That said, we've deployed nicely on the left flank, or, well, our left flank, the enemy's right flank. Looks like Belcherethoi has moved in and getting that Moon Dragon Breath through a couple of units while they were moving together, and doing decent damage both to the enemy cav and this unit of Marauders, as we... oh my lord. Having your head melted off by a moondragon breath, not a great way to go, though I imagine that, well, you probably don't know what's happening past the first microsecond. Anyway, looks like Valkia is upset at this whole situation and is giving chase to Bel Harathoi. Her army continues to take arrow after arrow and is attempting to reposition itself to fight us on the flank. Which is what makes this army so much stronger than just a regular army with nothing but shields and spears that we can deploy like this. Now we've positioned Valkia where we want her. We're going to activate Regrowth and the Shield of Thorns. There you go. On ourselves, not for the melee damage reflection, but for the missile resistance, as stray shots that are hitting Valkia are fairly likely to be a threat to Bel Harathoi. There we go, a couple of volleys, and Valkia is going to book it on out of there. We've no way to chase her down, unfortunately, and we have other things to deal with. Gehenna's Golden Hounds activated through in our battle lines as the enemy uses a Metal Mage. Chaos Sorcerer, rather, to hit us once again. Not very coordinate, Valkia. Not very coordinate at all. And it looks like some Marauders do manage to make it towards our spear line. The spears have 72 melee defense, however, and for now should be able to hold. Out on the rightmost flank, we also have our Illyrian Reavers, who are currently holding back the 2 Chaos Sorcerers, Marauders with great weapons, and Chaos Warriors as well. Plus more units making their way forward. The Illyrian Reavers are kind of in danger, but on the other hand, they do have both our Noble as well as Bel Harathoi now buffing them up, which will allow them to hopefully hold back the enemy for a little bit longer. The more units that aren't moving towards our line of spears and arrows, the better, as the arrows are then able to concentrate on other units. We will, however, send a spear unit, a spare spear, to help out the Illyrian Reavers, as we really shouldn't be using them to hold back the tide of enemies. Alright, Marauders debuffed reasonably decently by the Glittering Scales, as well as the Fauxbane? No, not Fauxbane. Let me get the name of the ability. Warrior Bane. Close enough. Close enough. And of course the Mass of the Dragon holding back the enemy. Now that our spears have arrived, we're going to get those Illyrian Reavers out of here. Looks like the enemy reinforcements have arrived as well, and Valkia has attempted to return to the battlefield. We're going to send a few arrows after her and a few piercing bolts as well, and by the looks of it... Alright, let's see if this volley... Oh, just manages to miss, but it looks like one of the gunners from the... Oh, neat. I didn't realize that the demon shield likes to scream when it drops. Is it laughing? I feel like it was laughing, but anyway, it very well should be. One of the gunners from the Eagle Claw bolt throwers manages to bring Valkia down, and as soon as she falls from the sky, as soon as the Coronate host witnesses the Gore Queen plummet, they will all shatter, and the battle will be ours. Even the Forsaken will run, and as they do, together with their Chaos Lord, he's gonna take so many arrows to the back. Once again, not very coordinate, my friend. A wound in the back and range wound. Add to that as you run. Although at least he won't be running for too... Oh my lord, look at this bloody path of nothing but arrows and blood he's leaving. Damn, he has taken quite a few hits, though not for much longer, as at last he will get brought down. Ouch. Yeah, you okay, bud? You had a bad day? Oh, a bloody end for this guy whose name I didn't even check. Alright, well done. Well done once again to Bel Harathoi. We technically don't need to kill off Valkia's army because she's in a settlement, but the secondary little army was a reinforcement. Hard to say what exactly was in it because I didn't check beforehand, but I do imagine that the Forsaken and the enemy lord were. Nice. Alright, not too bad at all, I would say. I'm once again very happy with the fact that Belharathoi, or specifically the Moranian's Wayshard item, has been able to keep this entire army sort of viable into the endgame because of the Vanguard deployment for the entire stack. Being able to deploy the entire army and begin firing upon the enemy from their flank before they know what the heck is going on is a really, really powerful ability. And pretty clearly when this army has been surviving and thriving throughout the entire campaign. Occupy. Alright, and this is probably one of the last territories that we take up here, or at least take for keeps. Spiteful Peaks, Potion of Speed we don't need. We can hopefully turn into something else. Ooh, ally mission successful from the Exiles of Nehek. I like that. I like that a lot. We will Lost Splendor for now. We can, I guess, wait to upgrade the Haven here. Okay, the reason I like that is Larithiel will be leading our sort of death-adjacent army. Thanks, I was on the heck. What do we have here? 55 allegiance with you. Now, it would allow us to get a Necrosphinx. Just the one, though. I do like my Necrosphinxes. Somebody also suggested we could do Screaming Skull Catapults. We have limits. I mean, we could also do Ushepti with Great Bow, but I think we have enough archers to be getting on with. Ooh, Hyro Titans. Hyro Titans are tempting, though. I do love my Hyro Titans. And they do have, they have Shem's Burning Gaze and Spirit Leech. I'm just wondering whether with the combination of both, we could get two, so we could get a Light Mage and a Death Mage. I was gonna go Shadow and Death because we were going to put the Shadow Warriors into the army. This isn't so bad either. I mean, I kind of just can't say no to a Hyro Titan. Okay, you know, how about this? We'll do one Hyro Titan, and then to keep it a little bit more reasonable, we'll do a couple of Screaming Skull Catapults, and then we'll see what else we get. I would like another Hyro Titan. Oh, I just love them so much. But anyway, we'll deal with that later. Or Necrosphinx, or two Necrosphinxes. Just okay, relax. Everybody calm down. Anyway, Architect Luaran, you are stuck here for the nonce till now. Now, you were supposed to hit Steinberg, Skellen, and ooh, wait, let me just check something here. Ally missions. Oh, it's only from Yvresse. What's the over-under on getting us another Hawk Rider? Actually, not too bad. Do we have a mission from you? Heralds of Ariel. Let me just see here. We need a second Hawk Rider for Phaedion. Ally mission, Steinberg, Skellen. That's you. Now, the problem with attacking you is this. Vlad is right there and we don't know what's in his army. And the reason that this is a problem at all is... oh, rather you have the Reaver buff. Is the fact that we might not be able to auto-resolve this. Heroic victory, medium casualties? Yeah, okay, we definitely can't auto-resolve that. Alright, that's gonna be a fight. Will Vashnar run from Alistar? Ooh, he will not. Alistar's army is hurt. Oh yeah, because of that attrition. I mean, there's not much we can do about it. Other than attack, of course. When you're damaged, what do? You attack. Let's see. Do we need Retinue Trainer in this army? Actually, I think this is one of the few armies that could actually get some use out of it. So let's get Hero and then into Retinue Trainer afterwards. We already have Favored by Isha, and while we do want Colossal Strike, we'll still get it eventually soon, hopefully. Flock of Doom and Pan's Impenetrable Pelt. Well, the Pelt will probably be not as useful in this particular battle. We can also really use some magic damage. We have, like, nobody to do magic damage, well, except the Flock of Doom spam, which means... definitely get the next point in Flock of Doom. Arcane Finesse's miscast base chance. We're not maxed out, so the Lilith's Blessing does nothing for us at the current time. Likelihood of you getting attacked, I'm gonna say relatively low, but I think we do want the Curse of Anra here, and maybe Transformation of Kadan. The eel summoning is useful, but it kind of wrecks our lion theme here, which I'm not so sure about. Anyway, Alistar, hit Vashnar, please. Vashnar will indeed not run. Now, Alistar, you have no magical attacks, so we're gonna give you the Lichbone Pennant, and we're gonna pop the Rampager Standard on. I mean, I guess we don't really want one of the White Lion Chariots to outrun the others, but I guess the same thing, The same thing would be true of all of these guys. Are you immune to psychology, incidentally? You are not. We could give you the lion pennant and then give the Pride of Rahagra the Rampager standard. Their melee attack is already pretty darn high. Maybe. Let's do this. Pop it on you. Pop it on you. Actually, what's the... Well, we could actually bump up the melee attack of these guys further. Maybe that's more valuable. I'm not entirely sure. The noble will most likely be present with the white lions, and, well, I'm not so sure about Alistar either. We'll keep him on the Sun Dragon for now. Especially considering this is a Slaaneshi army that has no recourse, because, well, he's a flyer and they have no anti-air. But anyway, we could just auto-resolve this, though. It's still a relatively basic army. I mean, we've no choice but to... You know what? I think this one is so weak that we don't need to fight it, but the next one... Yeah, and see, the noble got hurt, but the chariots are fine, which is the main thing that had me concerned. Another Lichbone pennant. Always a great thing to pick up. We'll ransom the captives, because we need the cash. As we are building stuff up, there's the Lichbone pennant. You can also go into encamp stance now. There we go. Alright, and then you'll heal up to... well, maybe not full, but you're getting there. I would have loved to go after Ulgafa Growlish, but that seems relatively unlikely. Itilnai, let's level you up. I guess you're heading into the fight as well. You can get Speed of Assyrian. We get you Elven Healing. I think, yeah, it's time to start buffing you up. Your personal capabilities. Not that I expect you to do a crazy amount of damage from the air, mind you. Wait. Immovable Force is only for Silver Helms, right? It's not for Illyrian Reavers. Just had to double check, alright. And it is indeed not. Alright, Colin, finally reached level... oh, it's level 40 that we unlock Mentor, eh? Alright, fine. We'll get there eventually. You don't have Plague of Rust and I actually wanted to use it in a battle against the Chaos Dwarfs, and I think we should get it for that particular reason. You have Hawkish Precision, which is the main thing. I'm thinking... the character or leadership effect wouldn't be too bad. Again, I like these various supporting stuff on the handmaidens rather than direct fighty stuff. Because while they will fight in melee on occasion, it'll be relatively rare compared to, for example, nobles or sword masters, which don't have a bow. Unless they conjure one. The sword masters, I guess. Lore masters. Anyway, Steinberg, Skellan, we have a lot of quests on you, buddy. You're wanted. You're a wanted man. Let's see how long you remain. So, Isabella is also here. To watch out for her. She's really, really difficult to bring down. As she should be. Chalice of Bathory and all. Go. Alrighty, here we go. A pretty darn big old stack of undead await us, and look at those disciplined ranks of bows and spears. Should work pretty darn well against the enemy. Let's hope that we can get them to sally out at least a little bit. Bow of the Reaver, was it, or Reaver bow, will be activated by Itilnai, and by the looks of it, kill off a decent amount of Black Knights and enemy Crypt Ghouls. The enemy will activate an Invocation of Nehek, but at the same time, the arrows will begin to fly. One of the enemy units of Crypt Horrors is in range, though it won't be for much longer. Not so much because it's moving away, but because they'll drop very, very quickly. And this, I'm sure, is what the enemy is very much afraid of. Either they move forward, or we slowly start making our way in. Tilnai is going to move forward as well and fly over the enemy, otherwise we can't see those Cairn Wraiths and therefore cannot fire upon them. And just as soon as we sight them, the arrows start arcing overhead. Just gotta move Itilnai away, lest she get, she catch a few stray arrows. The enemy, however, can catch a little bit of stray Star Dragon Breath, as it will mow down about half, maybe more, 3/4 of the unit of Cairn Wraiths there. And the other one is getting very much pin-cushioned. Though they are dodging a little bit of these arrows, I'm sure, and we're wasting ammunition to some degree because of the lack of magical damage on an ethereal unit. On the other hand, the Cairn Wraiths are one of the bigger threats on the battlefield, and it's probably better to knock them out. Certainly anything left like zombies and skeleton warriors can just be fought in melee if it comes down to it. Alright, very nice. Looks like the Karen Wraiths are melting away. A unit of Black Knights attempts to move forward but thinks better of this, as it would probably be a poor idea. And they'd likely never reach the battle line anyway. That said, that sally means that they take about 90% of their HP. Over on the right flank, it looks like a unit of Crypt Horses decided to sally out, and they've got 65 speed on them. And these guys are pretty darn quick. We're gonna have to slow them down with the Plague of Rust and keep those bows of the Illyrian Reavers firing until we knock them out. Alright, down goes the second unit of Crypt Horrors. I don't know whether the enemy has any more, but they haven't done too much in this particular battle as yet. Another unit of Graveguard is moving around below Atilni, and will similarly be pincushioned as our army starts slowly but surely making its way into the enemy settlement. Now our ammunition is unfortunately starting to run out, and it looks like the enemy is finally ready to bite back, as Isabella activates the Storm of Night ability, which is an anti-air ability that does damage on top of slowing us down by 75%. 23 speed means that Atilni cannot move, and we do have to be careful lest the arrows that we fire kill Atilni rather than Isabella. And oh, that's a lot of arrows missing. It may perhaps thus be better not to move around so much. I was hoping that we could get a few good shots off on Isabella, but it looks like, well, not happening. And oh my lord, these guys aren't great at leading. Fortunately, the bats will act as a meat shield for Atilni and actually take a fair few shots for her instead. And we're just going to sit here and wait until the arrows knock Isabella out of the sky instead. Probably can't really fight her one-on-one. We also have that final transmutation up on her, and the concentrated fire will bring her down at last. Lovely. Alright, that worked out reasonably well. The balance power with that shifts to about maybe 60% in our favor, but by the looks of it, there are still plenty of enemy units remaining in the settlement. Another unit of Graveguard gets pincushioned. These the Great Sword variant and no shields to rely upon. Also got to keep in mind that we don't have a lot of armor-piercing damage on our units of Lothern Sea Guard, so the Graveguard are actually fairly adept at weathering their arrows, or at least more so, as they've got a solid 85 armor. Not using their shields to great effect, and the enemy should have really just tried to mob us here, as it would have been ideal. That said, they've got no great vortex spells that they can use on this line, and we can just keep advancing into the enemy city in neat and ordered ranks, and slowly but surely wearing them down. Alright, gonna move forward and try to activate an ability or two. Ooh, looks like a Gaze of Nagash does hit our princess here, but she's going to hit back with a Star Dragon Breath. Bring down a few of those Black Knights. The Vampire Lord is here at last, Mr. Steinberg. All those quests assigned to you. And just as the Lord arrives, we'll herald his arrival with a little bit of fanfare. A few Gehenna's Golden Hounds jumping around, a little fireworks through his zombies and skeletons and Graveguard, which by the looks of it clips about 3 units and damages them pretty heavily. Good work from our Metal Mage, certainly. Alright, how are we doing otherwise? Looks like the balance of power continues to move in our favor, maybe up to 70%, or at least closing into it now. One of our Illyrian Reaver Archers is unfortunately nearly out of ammo, and I think several of our Lothern Sea Guard are at this point out of ammo as well. Black Knights charge forward. We're going to pop the Plague of Rust on them, but that is not enough. They are able to catch all of our Illyrian Reavers. And a very, very nice move by the AI. It gets its lord just close enough to be able to raise dead right into the sort of middle of our blob of Illyrian Reavers. Unlike heavier cav, the Illyrian Reavers don't really have enough mass to easily be able to get out of the tar pit of zombies, and by the looks of it, they are stuck, getting attacked by the Black Knights and a unit of Graveguard that is moving in to help out as well. And starting to dish out plenty of damage to our Illyrian Reavers. Gotta praise the AI for that particular move. Completely my fault for not moving these guys out sooner, and for sort of blobbing them up with all 4 together as they got in each other's way. Should have kept 2 on this side and 2 on this side instead. But oh well. Until Knight has moved in to try to help out, maybe distract the enemy Lord and Graveguard to allow the Illyrian Reavers to leave. It looks like the dragon will still be able to dish out plenty of damage. And 3 out of our 4 units have moved away, or at least opened up space between them and the enemy zombies. And Graveguard and Black Knights. That said, Atilnai has started to take damage here and has dropped down to close to half HP. And by the looks of it, won't be able to fight the enemy Lord one-on-one, who has a lot of melee attack, if not a lot of melee defense. We're done. We've served our purpose here, as our Illyrian Reavers have moved away, and Atilnai is not going to continue that fight one-on-one. The rest of our units are still fighting and still advancing through the enemy settlement, though by the looks of it, our ammunition is almost completely gone, with most of the frontline units completely out, and just a few of the backline units still able to fire. Alright, the Sister of Avalorn at least is still able to fire away, though with no splash and, by the looks of it, no penetration on her arrows. And the occasional zombie drop really doesn't do anything for us. Again, just out of curiosity, she's... Okay, so she has basically no ammunition left, maybe 10-15%, and has done 1,935 damage and gotten 18 kills. This is almost making me rethink about putting 3 of them into ALARIELLE's army, but it does feel like she would have a decent number of handmaidens. It's only appropriate. Anyway, the zombies are melting away. Looks like these guys, maybe attempt to move around us in the manner of these Black Knights, and ooh, alright, they not fix this? Okay, so range units, when they run out of ammunition, like this one did, decide to go into melee. If they still had the order to attack, and yeah, I guess I should have just not given them the order. Unfortunately, that means these guys will foolishly charge on in and will eat a few arrows to the back from their friends, and a few lances to their face from their enemies. Frankly, their own fault. Their own fault for deciding that just because they've run out of ammunition, these light skirmisher cav should try to fight in melee. Black Knights aren't a particularly strong unit of cav, but they've got plenty of armor and certainly enough stats to fight an enemy light cav unit with a relatively decent ease. Anyway, the battle is nearly ours, trying to continue to make our way forward. And the Black Knights will get ripped apart as they get hit in the back by the remnants of... well, not remnants. Well, remnants of our ammunition, as the Illyrian Reavers, similar to our Lothern Seaguard, are out of ammunition as well. An enemy vampire arrives in a nice bound from the dragon and takes her down to about half HP and traps her in the pile of Lothern Seaguard as well, to shortly be stomped by the dragon, who is sending many a Seaguard flying at the same time. But hey, it's what they signed up for. Alright, a final transmutation, I believe, comes down on the enemy vampire, who will drop in the middle of the fray, attempting to call for aid as some crypt ghouls have arrived with zombies, and I do believe some Graveguard moving in. But that's just fine. We've no choice now, as the Lothern Seaguard are forced to fight this in melee instead, as we are pretty much completely out of ammunition. I think 2 of our Lothern Seaguards still have ammo, and they are moving in to try to get a few shots off. Can't get the camera lower, unfortunately, as the buildings are blocking it. On the bright side, we do still have mana, even if we don't have ammunition. A little bit of Searing Doom will knock a decent-sized hole in the enemy line. Lovely. The zombies are attempting to make their way forward, but we still got 77 melee defense on the Lothern Seaguard with shield and 65 on those without. And certainly they should be able to hold back the tide and obliterate the more fragile enemy units. It's going to take a little bit of a longer while to work through all those Graveguard, but I'm sure they'll get there. Over on the left flank, the same exact thing is happening, as our Lothern Seaguard have been forced into melee, though the Vampire Lord has moved in as well. Time to get a little bit of melee action for our for our handmaiden, who has similarly run out of ammunition, and we'll have a Till Knight touch down and help out against the enemy lord as well. I'd wager as soon as the lord is done, the rest of the enemy army will return to their graves as well. So it's just a matter of time if he seeks to fight like this. Alright, and Atilna and her dragon have arrived, and oh, we can actually get the camera down here. See the glow of those grave guards' eyes. Alright, enemy lord has gotten hit with a plague of rust now. Gotta get that armor down so that the Lothern Sea Guard can continue dishing out damage. And down goes the enemy lord. Gives that a little bit more damage to the handmaiden, who's up to 50 kills and 4,800. A little bit stronger in melee, surprisingly, than in range. And as soon as the enemy lord drops, the enemy begins to melt away. The last of their zombies and graveguard will join their lord in death. And the Lothern Sea Guard managed to hold off, and hey, look, our two last units that still had ammunition have joined up as well. A little bit too late on you, but I guess it hardly matters. And it's not like you had, well, actually, that was the last of your ammunition anyway. When I said they still had ammo, I didn't mean they had a lot of ammo. And nothing to say, no tactics, just wait until the enemy just disintegrates. And the zombies aren't going to be any kind of threat to the Lothern Sea Guard either. Enemy shouldn't have wasted its crypt horrors in the manner that it did, as that didn't enable it to sort of intersperse them in their line of infantry and have them dish out damage and apply poison and all that good stuff. Alright, lovely. Down go the last of the enemy zombie, and with that, the battle will be ours. Close victory apparently, but I'd wager just due to the ammunition expenditure, if nothing else, though Till Knight did take about half of her HP and damage, so props to the enemy lord, and I was still very impressed by its very appropriate use of Raised Dead to trap our light cab. Good job, AI. Hey, we managed to steal the Armor of Destiny. Not too bad at all, considering we had to work our way slowly through that particular settlement. At least they made it worth our time. The AI's lucky I love playing against the vampire counts almost as much as I love playing them. Anyway, what this guy did... Well, okay, you know what I mean. You'll occupy Wissenburg. And ally mission successful. 1, 2, 3. Alright, just the 3, but 3 good ones. Alrighty, now. Where and how? Wait, have we already moved Fedian this turn? We have. I would really like to recruit her. I guess we could use you to do it, right? Heralds of Ariel, we have just enough to get the Hawk Riders. Beautiful. Alright, so, you're gonna move here. You'll transfer them to Fedian afterwards. Like... the heck? Okay, that was weird. Like so, Hawk Riders. I really wish the Wood Elf units weren't so expensive, because they mix nicely with all of our units. I really wanted some Azrae Spears, War Dancers. I don't see them here, actually. Well, I would really like some Sisters of the Thorn as well. Combining Sisters of the Thorn with a decent pile of range cav would make a nice sort of mobile skirmishing army. But anyway, for now, we're okay. Luaran, I already checked you. Gwyndian. You will lead an army, I'm just still not yet sure which, buddy. You have Dangerous, so you're basically just not going to buff any kind of units, so you're just dangerous to everybody else. We could reset you or we could send you somewhere. For now, I'm going to keep you where you are until I decide what exactly to do with you, and until we can, you know, afford to build a new stack. Larician, you did take damage last time. I assume you won't heal in the Great Ocean? Is there anywhere in the Great Ocean? Well, you know what, just go to the other side. Albion Channel is hostile, so we definitely won't heal there. What about right here? Let's find out. Because we'd like to get this island and keep an eye out on any... Oh, no, we will heal here, so we're fine. Go right here, stay in the Great Ocean, because I'm 99% sure we won't heal in the Albion Channel. And we'll maybe shadow Karan Kurgan Tamer. Kurgan Tamer. That's kind of funny. But anyway.
princess.
Maybe he'll go for you, maybe he won't. Also, you have leveled, and you have Darken the Skies. Do you have all the important stuff? You have Dedicated to Mathland, you have Loose, Bowmaster, and Militia Master. You can Club Bolt Thrower, you have a movable force, you don't need Silver Torrent, and you don't need Heart of the Flame. You don't have any Cav, meaning we can get you Merchant Lord, to start moving you through Merchant Lord until we can get you Elven Scholar and Quartermaster. Good. Your Noble has replenished troops as much as we're going to get into it for now. Let's get you Blade Master and Heart to hit. Good. Alrighty, and yeah, you just stay where you are. Admiral Astakar. You were headed to another island, which is out of range for this particular turn, but that's alright. We'll grab this island, then we'll head towards this one, and then probably through the sea lane over to this side. If we can sneakily capture Fuchao, that would be really great, because it's one of the great harbors, and tradable resources produced plus 20% faction-wide, and 30% income from trade tariffs is a pretty insane buff to a high elven faction. Yeah, so, if we can grab that, we certainly should. Recruiter Melendai, okay, well, we'll need to check if we have money left to recruit, so we'll leave you alone for now. ALARIELLE, you are also in need of recruitment. Architect Denna is moved, I believe, and built stuff when Drina, whatever. You are supposed to head here. I'm just gonna hope that... Oh, this is dangerous. Wait, you know what? Let's just make sure that these guys can land first. TYRION, go to the Galleon's graveyard.
To victory.
Alright, don't attack yet. Is there a reason you have a war banner? Oh, we could put it on one of the Illyrian Reavers. Or the Exalted Illyrian Reaver Archers. Like so. These guys have a heck of a lot of artillery and stuff here. Might be quite a problem for this army. Alright, but it'll keep it interesting if nothing else. You're gonna land as well. Alright, and now we got two armies on the field. Nobles. This is going to require you to level up because this is going to be quite the fight. We are, however, going to keep the points handy for the handmaidens because we need to get them Hawkish Precision and Sacred Service as well to buff our Sisters of Avalor. And the ammunition in particular is going to be very much needed. Anyway, let us, I guess, attack Alarion and... Alarion? Combined Alarielle and TYRION. They become one person. Norse Roar and Wraithstorm, that's going to be annoying. In addition to all those artillery pieces. But what are you going to do? Should be a pretty fun fight. Let's get to it.
Destroy them.
Alright, destroy them indeed. Here we go. We fight at the Maelstrom, the Galleon's graveyard. Definitely one of the coolest looking battle maps available. I also like the sort of undersea fight that you get. I think it's only in quest battles, but it's a really cool with the giant shadow overhead. But anyway, two full enemy stacks arrayed against us. Not quite two full stacks for us. But we'll make it work, I'm sure, as TYRION and Alarielle working together are a heck of a force. And there we go, TYRION charges on through, moving through the lines of a depth guard. Does look like he has enough mass to move through them, or they have too low numbers to slow him down too much. The goal back here is to try to get to try to get to the enemy artillery in the background. Unfortunately, our mage can do something about them. Unfortunately for us, they have 5 of them, so let's see how many of them we can take care of with a little bit of vortex action. Bound Flamestorm, though it is weaker than a regular Flamestorm, as well as Bound Chain Lightning. Well, actually, no, that's a regular Chain Lightning, not a bound one. Will, by the looks of it, melt away at least one of the mortars and send it crumbling, while TYRION continues to ride around and try to get towards that back line. He will take a fair few hits, and will attempt to stop and attack the enemy. Lord will rather charge on through instead. I gotta love the way that that Sunfang, his burning sword, lights up the dark and glints off his armor as well. Sometimes the game has a little bit too much of that sort of shine and glint off the armor, but it looks pretty fantastic here. You gotta love dark battles when you have these sort of like spotlights effects going. And I think that the lighting in general in the Galleon's graveyard fight is pretty good. It's not so dark that we can't see what the hell is going on. Anyway, TYRION will continue to work in the background. We were waiting for our reinforcements, and fortunately at last ALARIELLE is on the field. And the enemy army remains distracted and thus not yet moving towards us, though by the looks of it they are now beginning to. They've lost, I believe, 3 of their artillery pieces, or at the very least, 3 of their artillery pieces are crumbling away and on the way to destruction, but they have 2 more of the mortars, and they have at least 2 that I recall units of deck gunners. No, 3 units of deck gunners, 4 units of deck gunners. It's a lot of deck gunners. It's still going to be very much a concern. Now TYRION is attempting to head towards the enemy lord. I've also learned my lesson from previous times and not activated the Curse of Anarion. Let me just see, where are we here? Where are we here, TYRION? Curse of Anarion is 60 seconds of that rampage. Yes, it's a lot of extra damage, but unless you can get your unit to specifically focus the specific enemy units, it's a long time to not be in control of your lord. TYRION has at last, if not cornered the enemy lord, is getting a few blows exchanged. It does look like the enemy lord calls forth a pile of gunnery mob crabby boys. And those rotting Prometheans will probably take a long time to hack our way through. On the bright side, we've got other units to help out with all of that. And as ALARIELLE is on the field, we will be joining the battle proper soon. Looks like the enemy mortars are beginning to fire on our main line infantry, including our single unit of Phoenix Guard, at least until we can get a couple more. Not to worry, the Phoenix Guard, though, are not really threatened by the mortar, though the enemy deck gunners and handguns are a different matter. They surge forth into the enemy line of Sirens, and the Sirens take quite a bit of damage from that charge. 7390 on the stats of the melee attack and defense of those Phoenix Guard. It looks like they'll be able to take care of themselves quite well. Looks like TYRION is still cornering the enemy Vampire Fleet Captain, who's down to half HP, and TYRION is as well, but we're not super concerned as we do have ALARIELLE to heal him, if it comes down to it. The Sisters of Avalorn have also joined our units of Gate Guard, and will be firing down on the enemy below. The magical arrows of the Sisters of Avalorn definitely going to be much needed here, as the enemy just has an obnoxious number of resistant units. Down come the arrows. We've also got a very nice line set up. Our Silverin Guard, our Phoenix Guard, and our units of Treekin working together. The enemy unable to use the mass of all of those monstrous infantry of theirs to get through our lines. Our Treekin have separated themselves from each other a little bit, but it's alright. And they can hold back the tide of rotting Prometheans and animated Hulks decently well. Over on the rightmost flank, our Silver Helms and our single unit of Exalted Illyrian Reaver Archers have surged forth. They are taking shots from the enemy range and mortars, but are causing absolute havoc on the rightmost flank, as obviously the fragile enemy handgunners and such are not going to stand up to their ministrations. We've also got Dryads moving in to dish out a little bit of damage, being careful to keep them more or less on the flanks and only reinforcing the center line so that they don't take too much damage. Enemy has also flanked us with a fair few numbers of monstrous infantry, 1, 2, 3, 4 on a single flank, though we've kept back a few of our own Treekin to protect this flank ourselves. Another couple of units of deck gunners are still firing away, and we're going to have to send the Silver Helms to deal with them. Alrighty, just a massive brawl between infantry and monstrous infantry working together from both sides, though support fire rains down from above, and I guess direct fire from the enemy as well. It looks like we've reached the enemy deck gunners and have destroyed them with our silver helms, and it's now time to charge into the enemy's back lines. There we go. Gotta help our dryads and shrieking out and crush the enemy between the hammer and anvil. Out here it looks like the range units have focused down a unit of zombie pirate and gunnery mob with handguns, and our single unit of exalted Illyrian Reaver archers have peeled away from the silver helms as these guys have started to take a bit of damage and are headed towards the deck gunners instead, who are super fragile and will get obliterated in melee. Alrighty, should have perhaps silenced these guys a little bit earlier. Maybe I should have sent ALARIELLE to deal with them as well, but she does have a healing aura for units near her, and keeping her in the main line really helps keep our units alive. Plus the repeated casts of Shield of Thorns and Earthblood, especially since this is a big old brawl with Treekin being in the center, did work out very much in our favor as well. Alrighty, and it looks like the enemy army is beginning to melt away now, surrounded from all sides now. And does look like a few enemy units here, and I also want to point out these guys, this unit of silver helms with swords, have been fighting this unit of rotting Prometheans for absolute ages, like 2 or 3 minutes straight. The rotting Prometheans have relatively low melee attack, and the silver helms have high enough melee defense that they're not going to be super threatening. Plus, these aren't the gunnery mob rotting Prometheans, they're the defensive-oriented, whatever, sort of regular rotting Prometheans. Anyway, the animated hulks and the units of rotting Prometheans are melting away. Treekin soaking up a little bit of that H2O. Though I imagine it's pretty salty out here in the center of the sea, but not as salty as I'm sure Noctilus is, as the Dread Fleet has been brought low, and, well, there was no Noctilus to be seen here, as we had already defeated him prior. The battle is ours, and ALARIELLE and TYRION both give us a pretty proper good show. Oh, damn, you gotta admit that was a heck of a fight. 2 stacks and powered up by the Maelstrom as well. We did pretty well, though, I mean, it looks like we had few losses, but it was a little bit closer than it looks post-battle, because we didn't lose a lot of models, but we did lose plenty of HP, and, well, the healing from ALARIELLE really helped, and she did a decent bit of damage as well. TYRION was kind of unstoppable. He was starting to drop a little bit in terms of HP, but considering we haven't built him up to fight yet, it's pretty darn solid. We got lots of mileage out of our silver helms already, 18k, 17k damage, 10k and 13k, more out of the lances from those massive charges, but the sword bearers were able to hold ground against even monstrous infantry, which is pretty good, pretty darn good. Anyway, ALARIELLE and TYRION worked well together. We are going to... There's a question. We can only take the Galleon's graveyard to tier 1, meaning there's no real reason not to sack it, is there? At least, not that I'm aware of. So, sack it. And stop moving. Okay, TYRION moved away. But we can still occupy it. Alright, there we go. Pirate Hunter, Potion of Speed, Terrifying Mask of V, ally mission successful, and occupy. At tier 1? Yes, at tier 1, so can't get too much use out of it, but whatever. Faction destroy the Dread Fleet, and we no longer have to worry about them being jerk faces. Let's get Tribute to the Phoenix King up here. It'll grow in public order and give us a little bit of that trade tariff income. Alright, now I think Wendrina, whatever is safe to go here. If, TYRION can't go in March Stand, sadly, and he will suffer attrition. But it's not like he's so damaged that it's going to be annoying, and I'm surprised that we're suffering attrition here. Doesn't the... Immune to reef attrition. Is this not reef attrition? Fleets will suffer attrition due to... Maybe it has to be repaired for this to be functional. If that is the case, then in theory, TYRION shouldn't suffer attrition next turn. In theory. Anyway, Wendrana, you've been trying to close the distance for a while now, so move on in. Oh, this is so dangerous. I really hope that there isn't an army just out of sight that can kill her and make us lose those exalted units. I will be so salty if that's the case. But I guess we're gonna have to find out. That said, these guys are good for this turn, so who's up next? Where was Tyrion in the list? Or did I grab him out of order? It's a very distinct possibility as well. Recruiter Melinda, Morella doesn't need to move. Lorithiriel, I checked already. There's Tyrion. Jayadress, you are gonna go after Kholek. Alright, let's move everybody else around first. Split up the battles a little bit. This is already a very heavy battle episode. You, Larian, I guess go into Noble Prestige, grab the Glacier Encampment. Real quick. I like so, auto-resolve this. And occupied. Alright, is this the entire territory? It is not. Alright, but we're working on it. We're working on it. One territory, I believe, remaining to Valkia. Yes? Yes, just the one. Good, 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 good. Of course, there's still a ton of stuff in the Chaos Waste, but it's territory we won't be claiming because I want to cut down on the admin. Just give everything else we take past this point, essentially, to our allies. And then obviously the same thing with the Empire and everything south of the Badlands. Just a few choice areas like Bordello and anything that's a great harbor. Anyway, let's see. Dydrarus. Where are you again? Oh, I could have used you to leech. I could have also used you to capture this location, but oh well, too late. Go forward anyway. We can use you to capture Dagrak's End or Glacial Gardens. There's other options for you. And I believe you are... Okay, you were next in the order, right? Morel, who the heck are you? Oh, right, you're just holding this sort of random pile of units together. And actually, the Eagles work nicely with the Treekin. I wonder if there's anything else we could combine with this stuff. Talzin, really? Oh, right, it's because we need the second level. Carcassonne, not useful yet. Alright, Wissenland is getting there. And there's potential, for example, for getting Hellstorm rocket batteries to Michaela. Not that she needs them. In fact, she can probably show them a thing or two about, you know, getting some fire down, but it's certainly a possibility. And we do have no Ironsides here as well, which could be a good source of suppression if we want to get a slowdown army. Like, for example, in our cold army. They're not really cold damage, but, well, slowing the enemy down will certainly serve. Outriders can also serve this particular purpose. Especially since we don't have access to the Kislev stuff. Ivres, there's nothing we can build from you. Somebody asked whether you can build the special units, but you're not allowed to. Seek out 0 out of 0 because we don't have capacity for them, so it's not possible. I think it's not possible in vanilla either. So yeah. Anyway, I wanted to get a war drum, but I no longer remember for who. I think, well, we could do one. Yeah, we could do one with ALARIELLE. It would be a nice buff for the Sisters of Avalorn. Really, any sort of hybrid army would work nicely with them. Could be nice for the Shadow Warriors as well, but they don't really need more melee attack. I don't remember what their armor is like, but I imagine it's like 50 or something. 40. 40 with buffs. So not a lot. Not a lot. But anyway, we'll deal with you later. Morel, back to you. Back to you, Kent. Now, we could sail out and have you fight those. And the problem is thus. If we do, Karen Kurgan Tamer will immediately attack you. That said, Shrine of Kurnos has defenses, and it looks like you guys aren't able to reach it. I'm inclined to say we go to Elysia instead. We are just in range of it, and see how these guys react. Decent likelihood Eltharion the Grim falls here, but that's going to be kind of annoying. Well, actually, we don't want any of his units. He doesn't have any Mistwalkers. Okay, so we're fine. I was going to say it's annoying if he had specials. He's not building Mistwalkers, is he? He doesn't have any of them. Huh. Or maybe he is building them and then promptly losing them. They're quite strong, so that's a shame, but oh well. At least we got some exalted units out of Tyrion. Gotta have a reason to actually play other lords, because if every campaign devolves into getting every single thing, then there's no real reason to replay a faction, in which I think that there is. Anyway, Admiral Kholek... Wait. Morel was the one that moved. Techless is good. Tech Thieves, Admiral... Why are you not moving? Oh. You're one of the ones that needs to recruit. You're the new admiral. A new admiral. In fact, speaking of, let's just double check. We have dashing, which is good for Illyrian rivers and silver helms. We already have that strong. Now we need exemplar, not example, the higher level version of it. Exemplar for mass piles of chariots, which I like the idea of. Meh. Alright, nothing there. Alright, so then we go to building and see if we have enough money. So, start with, I guess, the Demonium Hills. No, skip Demonium Hills. White Tower of Hoeth definitely warrants an upgrade. And I guess we'll upgrade the Public Order and the Growth here. 8 Peaks, you're up next. We have the... Man, the Promenade's expensive. And the Growth, the Estate, and I guess Elven Craftsman. Black Mountain, you are going to get the Promenade. And that's all the tier 3s, so I guess for now you can switch to Banish Corruption. Great Ocean, we don't care about you at the moment. Wissenland, Wissenburg, we're just going to trade you to our allies so we can ignore you. Caledor, ooh, Val's Anvil's ready to go to tier 4, beautiful. That's what I like to see. Well, this is tier 5, but we're getting there. We're only just now unlocking the ability to build dragons anyway. Zvorak. I mean, I guess we could try to upgrade you. I'm still a little bit concerned here because you're kind of an enemy territory, and even if we go for example, Verdanos, or not Verdanos, for Myrmidons, whatever. Somebody could jump down out of Karakazor, the rats, I mean. Well, that's what I mean by somebody. Obsidian Peaks, you're up next. We're waiting for you to switch to rebuild Lost Splendor, so we don't need to build anything there. Morgheim, Sunken Kernark, and Floating Village. So obviously we will need the plaza here. No need for the War Hall. This is all fine, so we can invest into it. And we don't need this thing at the Floating Village either, and we can go for the tower as well. Alright, looks good to me. Spiteful Peaks up next. Gron... Did I already do you? I mean, we could do one of these, because it'll only take one turn. And we still need the Public Order here, because it's horrendous. And the rest is fine. Alright, Barrier Idols. Agrul Migdal. Oh, right, they frickin' works. Demolish the Giant Dung Heap. Damn you, control -5. Though we're still outdoing it in terms of control. Then we're gonna go for Plaza, and Repair. Looks good. Griffin Gate, obviously we don't need to build anything. Forest of Gloom. And you're going to be growing for a while, so keep on growing, my friend. Eastern Border Princes. Zakendorf definitely want to get this up and running. I'm going to hope that these guys aren't able to reach it, and even if they are, we will hopefully be able to get... well, there's a decent likelihood that they'll be able to reach it, actually. But will they be able to win this? Yeah, they probably will.
I serve the Phoenix King.
Recruiter Fern Harvest, you have spells available to you. We could... Okay, you know what we'll do? We'll do this. Cancel the Hyro Titan. Larithi, I'll build the Hyro Titan instead. Exiles on a heck. Probably didn't bug out. No, it didn't. Alright, Hyro Titan. Wait. I just got an idea. You are currently at war with these guys. You have a military alliance with us. We may, no guarantee, but may be able to make the Hyro Titan cheaper by doing this. No, not declaring war on you. Damn. Oh, I shouldn't do that. These guys could be a concern, but hopefully not so much. By declaring war on these jerk faces. I mean, we should probably destroy them. Plus, Khattab could go this way. I mean... They hate us so much that even if we do construct the building in Nagaron, it won't do much for us. So just declare war on these guys. Call your allies to help. Everyone's joining in? Beautiful. Alright, now, did the Hyro Titan get any cheaper? I don't know, because I didn't make a note of how much it costs to build. Alright, Recruiter Fern Harvest, go to Akendorf. And defend against this guy. You should have enough magics to fend him off with just what you've got. Alright, you have... Oh, you have a base level of Flock of Doom, but you do have Crackling Potency, so at least there's that. Let's hope it's enough. Well, Brew War... Oh, speaking of Brew War, we should get you to Alarielle, but I guess we could do so next turn if I don't promptly forget. Back to you, Kent, yet again. Exiles of Nehek. 47. Did it get cheaper, or was it always 47? I don't know. Build it. Build it either way. It just feels right. Alrighty, then... I believe we were in Eckendorf, so let's find you again in the list. Eastern Border Princes, alright. Build up the cattle ranch, most definitely, and go for the promenade, and then go for the growth as well. Alright, the rest of this... You're actually nearly ready for an upgrade, good. Eaglegate, Howling Wastes. 2 more turns until tier 5 and access to the good stuff. I mean the really good stuff. Frankly, everything from the Spearmen and Archers to everything we use is good. Except for the Illyrian Reavers non-Archers. I mean, they're fine. They're fine. They're light cab. Anyway, just think of them as doggos. Doomglades, you're okay as you are. Public order still needs fixing here. Elysian Shrine of Kurnos probably will get attacked next turn, so we can't do anything about that. I still love how we're just encountering enemies on every side, and I just keep declaring war on people. I'm doing this. I'm doing this to myself. Anyway, Glacier Encampment. Guess we can make a cheap little building here. Probably not going to fall. I think we can wait to upgrade this because if we take Dagrak's End, we'll be able to reduce the construction cost and the time it takes to build. Southern Yvresse. I guess we could upgrade Carenthel for the Cinnabar mine, though we're running out of cash to recruit. And I would like to get the recruiting started, so... You know what, you're going to go here. And we'll have you recruit the 2 Gate Guard. Expensive, but the Admiral, I mean, she can wait. I guess she could channel. She won't have a mage, but just because she can. Alrighty, and the Road of Skulls. Well, until the area is clear, there's probably no real reason to upgrade it, and until we can hopefully trade Kawark away from these guys. Hopefully Kateb goes this way. We'll find out. Alright, we'll leave the Road of Skulls alone until hopefully Kawark is ours. Well, actually, I guess if we can... I guess if we already did the recruitment that we wanted to do, or at least one of the recruitments, because Teclis's recruitment is next turn, and then we're still okay. Alright, next up, Jayadress. You are going to get a Master Strategist. This does nothing for us. But I guess it doesn't matter. Awakening of the Wood. And you're heading out to Kholek, who I guess we're also declaring war on. And, ooh, but if we do, I'm willing to bet the War Host of Jar will join in, or will they? Or will they be... Maybe. They might be too afraid of us. It's a good question. They do have armies nearby, which is something of a concern. Kholek hates us enough that we can't just leave him here. Yeah, let's do it. Call your allies to help, go. Alright, beautiful. Everybody joining in again. And the world's at war because of us. You are going to go into, I guess, Noble Prestige. You get the speed. Oh, you're not on a mount, are you? Oh, that's dangerous. Level 11, 1 short. You know, the extra little bit of speed might actually be good for you, even at the cost of some vigor. Go for it. Well, let's hit Kholek. In theory, we should be fine because these Skycutters should be able to obliterate Kholek, in theory. 30% missile, 10% physical, 36% ward. Oh, damn. He's got 76% missile resistance. Okay, maybe not. Well, we can always back off if it comes down to it. Let's find out. Should be an interesting one, if nothing else. Go. Alright, here we go. Time to see the Lothern Skycutters get to work once again. I am very much in love with this unit. Been having a lot of fun with these frickin' things. They're great. Took a long time to be able to access them, but I'm very happy that we finally got here. They're very, very strong. Especially against enemy armies that don't have much in the way of anti-air, though that, to be fair, is true of any kind of army that is air-based, then the enemy has no anti-air. And just remembering Tic-Tac-Toe's army from the Kruggar campaign and the absolutely obnoxious number of enemy armies he was able to kill at once, who could do absolutely nothing against them. Anyway, the Lothern Skycutters cut down the Chaos Feral Manticore. combining those ballista shots with their regular arrow fire to bring the first one down, and while the second one, and the other enemy unit of anti-air, is chasing one of our units of Hawk Riders. I guess for now, the only units of Hawk Riders. Now, what I am curious about is how Kholek will fare against all this. Now, first of all, he has... I don't think he has regeneration available, or at the very least the AI hasn't given it to him. However, his 76 resistance is a lot. The giants that we faced off against before with the Lothern Skycutters had 50% missile resistance, and we were able to bring them down with some effort. How we're going to fare against Kholek with 76 and the massive HP pool he has remains to be seen. Plus 155 armor, add to that. But we don't necessarily have to focus Kholek down. First, we can just destroy the enemy army from up on high and spread the love a little bit. On top of all that, we are hovering the Frostheart Phoenixes overhead with their Blizzard aura, slowing down the enemy units and preventing them from doing too much. I'm also excited to combine the Blizzard aura with the Chilling aura that the Frost Dragon has, or Moon Dragon with Frost powers. It'll be a massive 55% speed reduction of anything near anything in that particular army. It certainly seemed to be a good idea to combine some other slow effects with it. But anyway, for now, it's Lothern Skycutter time. And they continue to shine. A couple of them will be focusing down enemy Dragon Ogres. We're just going to set 2 of them to attack each Dragon Ogre unit and hope that that's enough. At the same time, we've got a lot of stray shots hitting the enemy Chaos Warriors and such. But, well, that's just fine. We got to kill them all afterwards. We got to kill them all anyway, rather. Oh, and it looks like the other Chaos Feral Manticore is finally here, trying to chase down still that Frostheart Phoenix. But since it's drawn close to the Lothern Skycutters, I imagine it won't have much longer to live, as similar to the first of the Manticores, down to a third of its HP and probably into Rampage relatively shortly. Out here, the enemy reinforcements have arrived, including some javelin-wielding marauder horses of Tzeentch. And we're going to have a couple more Skycutters focus them down in particular, unless they dish out decent damage. And the Tzeentchian Marauder horses can do quite a lot of hurt, so definitely got to be careful about them. Alright, Ballista Bolts and knocking them down quite well, however, and a couple more volleys I'm sure will send the unit running, or galloping the heck away. They don't have to outrun us, they just have to outrun Kholek. Alright, down a half HP now, taking a little bit of time to work through them, but with only 2 units of these Skycutters working on them, they're not going to, well, they're going to take a little bit of time. And that's just fine. We want the Skycutters to be good, we don't want them to be ludicrously overpowered. And obviously one of the reasons that we can do so well against this particular army is that because it has little to no anti-air. Alright, it looks like, well, speaking of, the anti-air Marauder horses are pretty much done. The Tzeentchian Marauder horses are booking it on out of there as well. And Kholek is still not attempting to go towards our sort of line of basic units. I don't know if he's waiting for his reinforcements to move on in, or whether he's annoyed by the fact that most of our army, or at least most of the strength of our army, is already near him. But he should probably attempt to charge our melee units now. Or attempt to as fast as he can, because he's still getting slowed down by those Frostheart Phoenix auras. They don't need to be in melee, we can just keep hovering overhead and annoying the enemy army with the Skycutters. I feel bad about this. But you gotta do what you gotta do. It's part of the game, and oh, looks like the enemy Chaos Sorcerer gets brought down by the Ballista Bolts from the Skycutters. The spreading shots continue to work. Looks like one of the Dragon Ogre's units is out, and then the next one will be on the menu shortly. Especially as several of the Skycutters have now switched their fire to them. Alright, come on, I want to see another Dragon Ogre get brought down. Tactically, not much to say about this battle at this time. Just keep on harassing the enemy army as they finally start to move towards our line of spears and archers. Frankly, it doesn't matter if any of the spears and archers die, as long as they remain on the field long enough for us to continue doing our work here. Hawk Riders, of course, helping out as well, though I believe they're pretty much, or at the very least, nearly out of ammunition. A little bit of help from the Hawk Riders' piercing shots, as well as the Sky Cutters will bring down the second Chaos Sorcerer as well, who will lose head, staff, and sword. Lovely. Kholek's also taken a little bit of damage, though we haven't actually told anybody to focus him, as I figured it would probably be a waste of time and effort when we could kill off his army and deal with him later. If push comes to shove and it takes too much effort to bring him down, we can always just allow him to shatter once the rest of his army is destroyed. Kholek does hit back over, dropping a Ruinous Thunderbolt, or whatever his own lightning bombardment is called, on our spears and taking about half of their HP. And it looks like the Doggo Vanguard will be first in, but they were already heavily damaged by the Sky Cutters, so not too much of a problem there. Looks like the enemy Dragon Ogres and some Marauders and Chaos Warriors and whatnot are also attempting to book their way out of there. I'm gonna drop a Awakening of the Wood on some Chaos Warriors just to slow them down a little bit and allow us to shoot them in the back just that little bit more. By the looks of it, Kholek is pretty much the only thing left on the field other than Harry the Hammer, who is also slowly making his way towards us. The archers are now focusing Kholek down, and all but two, I think, of the Sky Cutters shooting him in the back as well. That said, that missile resistance is certainly working for him, and he is bonking apart a few of our spears. They're still basic spears, of course, so they're not going to be too much of a threat to the Mountain God. But the archers very much are. Well, slowly but surely, anyway. Alright, a lot of those ballista are missing, but fortunately it looks like Kholek will shatter just as the rest of his army shatters as well. He still does get brought down to about a third, maybe 35% of his HP, but now we have to still deal with Harry the Hammer, who, while we were distracted by Kholek, managed to make his way forward, unbreakable as he is. And now it's going to be fairly difficult to deal with him as he's in the melee, and stray shots from those ballista will be taking out plenty of our own spears. Not entirely sure the best way to handle this. Either sacrifice spears and allow our Sky Cutters to deal with him, or maybe get the Phoenixes to do a little bit of damage instead. Out of curiosity, he's got 25 physical, 25 missiles, so 50 and 70% missile resistance as well. Yeah, so massive amounts of missile resistance, and a much smaller target than Kholek and the Manticores and the Dragon Ogres were previously. Fortunately, and this is a little bit of work for our Frostheart Phoenixes, who have been waiting to do their thing. I like the frost effect that they leave on the ground as well. That's a nice touch. Alright, I'm gonna separate them just a teensy bit to try to get the Phoenixes attacking him from both sides, and periodically dropping heals from our Life Mage on said Phoenixes. Of course, they wouldn't be able to handle Harry the Hammer directly in a one-on-one, so we gotta be careful and do a little bit of cycle charging. At the very least, unless we want the Sky Cutters to deal with him. Fortunately, it does look like this is working. He's down to half HP now, and a little bit more effort will, I'm sure, bring him down. And just gotta keep those life blooms flowing, and as long as the Phoenixes haven't reached their healing cap, they can do this all day. Still, pretty darn impressive. The Mountain God flees, but Harry the Hammer continues to fight and has racked up 29 kills to his name, and damaged at least one of the Phoenixes pretty heavily. Our Lothran Sky Cutters are just having fun plinking away at enemy runners in the meantime. There's a little bit of good old-fashioned target practice, and these things carry so much ammo with them so that this isn't a concern. Huh, do only their ballistas fire while they move? I don't think so. Not that it matters over much, mind you. Alright, well, that Chaos Warrior unit is pretty much done, and I believe Harry the Hammer is down to just a sliver of HP now. Couple more hits and he'll be gone for good. I'm just going to speed it up as we've seen him fight for quite a while now. And by the looks of it, he's still going to keep on fighting. Still 2,000 HP to his name, actually. Great job to Harry. This is a very heroic last stand. And obviously this army, I mean, it's not really an army. We're just holding some units for Phaedon, who will have other options should she encounter things like Harry in the future, who is now down to 1,500 HP and is still standing. Alright, down to 700 now. Alright, Harry, it's time to hang up that hammer. You are done, my friend. And the Frostheart Phoenixes have done their damage, and you are down to 360 HP. I'm gonna drop one more Life Bloom. Move the Phoenixes away once they've healed, and still Harry holds, but now the Lothern Skycutters have grown tired of watching from up on high, and will simply bring him down with a couple of Ballista Bolts, as well as a few of our own spears, mind you, but, well, once again, you gotta do what you gotta do. One last big ol' swing with that hammer. And come on now. Skycutters. There we go. And then one more volley from the Skycutters will finally take Harry down. And oh my lord. I thought because he was a legendary lord that wouldn't happen, that he'd just, sort of fall on the ground. I'm not sure he's getting back up from that one. Just a flesh wound guy. Alright, that one went a little long, but worth it just to see that. That was a good laugh. Alrighty, there we go. Once again, I feel kind of bad. 30,000 damage on pretty much all of the Skycutters. These things are menaces. They are absolute menaces on the battlefield, and I'm loving every second of it. If we had a proper Dwarfen ally, as in a Dwarfen ally that wasn't that tier 2 on turn 100 of his capital, we might have gotten like 4 Thunder Barges, and then the rest just a pile of Skycutters. They seemed like they would work very, very nicely together. And yeah, that would be such an obnoxious army. I suppose, well, next time I play Dwarfs in SFO, I gotta make sure to try to build some nice Thunder Barges in combination with Skycutters. Because then we could do Gyrocopters and Skycutters and all Thunder Barges. I mean, obviously I would have loved to do it the other way around. It's just clearly not happening in this campaign. Anyway, well done to this army. I also was pretty impressed with the Occupy. Loot and Occupy? I think it's going to be a tier 1 anyway. Loot and Occupy. We're going to trade it anyway, where it's not like we're intending to keep it. I was impressed with Harry the Hammer. I mean, hardly surprising, but yeah, good job to him. Alright, now you have defeated Kholek. I guess Jayadris is another lord that we can keep, because at this point she has Protected, Barrier, Missile Resistance, Spell Resistance, Hide Striker, and now Stormblight as well. These are all great traits that would go on a fighter lord, so I guess we can put her on a Moon Dragon and then have her do stuff. Another sort of originally intended to be temporary lord doing decent work. Anyway, we'll repair you, and we'll pop in a militia camp for when we trade you to Greasy. The rest of this is looking good. I do believe that we are ready to end the turn. Yes, let's double check Diplo. A little bit of cash. I don't know if we can use that somewhere. Khemri wants to trade. There's a decent likelihood that we'll attack them. They're still trying to wipe out the Cult of Sigmar. And we'd rather be friends with Cult of Sigmar rather than Khemri, simply because all the lizards around don't really like Khemri either. Arguelon, Ivres, Tyrannoc, Torellosaur. Ooh, next turn we should be able to get that Confed, eh? So we should certainly end the turn and see about getting that. Slaneshi giggle. Anyway, let's see if we can spend a little bit of money. I was gonna have you recruit some stuff, but you're not a recruiter, so you won't be able to do this for cheap, will you? 1,200. I'll be able to get like 3. It's not gonna make much of a difference. In fact, while you're here, go into... Oh, start moving towards Lothern. Is there anywhere else where we want to potentially recruit stuff? Oh! I didn't realize that I had declared war on Sin Dancer. How did I do that? When did I do that? She's not a vassal of somebody, is she? When did I declare war on you? I thought we were at peace. Well, that's not great, because she could easily take Slaver's Point. Morella... It's a lot of demon gnats. What do you have? Let's see. You have Talisman of Safri and no magical damage items. You do have Crackling Potency and Fiery Convocation. So in theory, you know, let's give you the Gilded Horn of Galleon Canuck, at least for now. Just for this turn or so. And any melee weapons? Let's get you a Tormentor's Sword. Arcane item. I don't believe have any kind of... What's your mana at? Yeah, it's not great. We could give you... We don't have a spare gem of Sunfire, and I'm disinclined to take it off anybody. Chest of Sustenance, Moon-Touched Spear. Oh, we could do the Moon-Touched Spear instead of the Tormentor Sword for now, since it's not being used by anybody either. Let's give you... Oh! Scroll of Stone. Assault of Stone. Now you have 1, 2, 3 bonus spells, plus the Crackling Potency. It'll hopefully make up, to some degree, for your lack of... mana. Magical reserves, I guess. Might as well max you out. Might actually keep you around now. I'm going to Slaver's Point. 99% sure these guys are going to attack us, but you should be able to carry the day with your magics. A little bit of help from the 2 little Dwarfen Ranger units. We could also pop, in theory, Brewer into here, but then you'd have to ferry him all the way down to ALARIELLE. It feels kind of far, so I'm going to say no to that. Anyway, Garrison Lord, unassigned skill points here not moved. Building upgrade available? No. Outpost upgrade available? No. Outpost regular available. In TYRION, which we will be confederating, so no. And then the turn. Alright, let's see if I've forgotten anything. Ally mobilizes against army. I assume that's Thrott's army. You are indeed going to attack here, but yeah, with the basic Hobgob units, you're not going to make it over those walls, let's face it. Ransom captives for the money and the influence. Enderway interception of... Okay, I don't like how damaged this noble is. I'm going to quick save it because I don't trust the auto-resolve. Yeah, because it would be really stupid if the noble died because of that. Go for ransom captives. Wait. The underway interception wouldn't have taken him out of the encampment stance, would it? Because if it did, he's gonna suffer attrition and lose like half his army. I guess we're about to find out. Awaken parts of Sartosa, Cult of Sigmar. Nice, done the camp. Good, we're good. Wissenland and Null, you want us to join war against Archie? No. Alright, down to 77 factions on the map. We're probably at war with like 30 of them and allied with the other 30. And the remaining 17 are just randos, plus the rogue armies and stuff. World Walkers will attack Wissenland and Nuln. Yes, of course we'll enter war inside of Ally. I didn't even realize we weren't at war with Wulfric. Did we peace out with him at some point? Maybe we did. Alright, and apparently nobody attacked us. Ally mobilizes, Assured Assailant, Master Mason for Arwinel, great. Enemy killed in battle, Scheme of Doom, Scheme of Doom, Scheme of Doom. Ready for duty, it's a lot of doom scheming from them Skaven. Ready for duty, technology researched, but it's the Anuli Roosts. And we're looking for Dragon Sighted. I don't think this does anything, it's not a real dragon. It's a phony, you're a phony. And oh, what the heck is this? A challenge for Imrik? Is this an actual challenge for Imrik? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 armies with Arcan the Black. I'm gonna say yes, please, and we can make it more difficult for us by going into March stance. Do we actually care that much about Gorgazan? No, not at all, but we absolutely will go there. Oh, I am now so excited for next episode. A lot of basic units, but we got Crypt Cores and ooh, Shapti with Great Bow gonna be very threatening to Imrik and all of the dragons. Of course, there's Arcan the Black there as well. We got more monstrous infantry here. Oh, exciting. Exciting times. I guess we could briefly send Arminal down here. It doesn't have to be Imrik, I believe.
Destiny lies there.
Just because we used Imrik for most of the campaign to do this doesn't mean anything. I think it'll just say nothing, right? Which dragon is this? Star Dragon encountered. Is it a regular Star Dragon? What is happening here? Would we still get the Star Dragon's ire? Well, I guess we could try it once. 10% ward save faction wide isn't nice. In theory, if we fight him... Random Star Dragon. Let's try it. Challenge Dragon, see what happens. Huh. Well, that's interesting. We get to fight a Star Dragon with this army rather than with Imrik's. Okay, I was expecting Imrik's to teleport. Anyway, I guess... Oh, damn, I wanted to do the admin between the episodes, but I think we're going to... Since we can't retreat and we are very, very much out of time, I'm going to call the episode here. We'll start the next episode off by fighting Likamoita and her... Oh, we're going to get a little bit of a taste of our own medicine against some high elven archers and whatnot, but we should be able to carry to the day. In theory, we could just auto-resolve it, but in practice... I don't want to. How often are we going to fight other elves now that Lethanar is dead? Probably never again in this campaign. Plus, we're damaged. This'll definitely take some effort. Anyway, more Imrik to come. I think a pretty great episode with some really interesting battles. The Maelstrom, for example, and Kholek in this particular ep. More to come. Stay tuned. Don't forget to leave those likes and comments below, especially the threshold. All glory to the algorithm. And thanks for watching.